In his last speech ahead of the upcoming general elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a full frontal attack on the Congress and the Mahagathbandhan. Modi fired direct punches at Rahul Gandhi and coined new acronyms in his trademark style. Modi also said that Rahul's party it's only the period before the Congress and after the dynasty. The Prime Minister also stated that the Congress has insulted every institution in the country, including the RBI and the CBI. He went on to say the Congress was Rafale aircraft deal. It didn't want a strong air force for the country. The Prime Minister took a jibe at the Mahagathbandhan as well, saying that was nothing but Maha Milawat. Largely, the Prime Minister was responding to Rahul Gandhi's comments, who earlier in the day called him a coward and accused him of stealing 30,000 crore rupees from the defense forces. Rahul Gandhi accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government of trying to place an RSS man in all institutions of the country, including the judicial system and the election commission, with both Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking on each other. Yesterday possibly was the beginning of the big election season for 2019.
कहाँ गया हवाई जहाज? उसको निकालो। HL से कॉन्ट्रैक्ट छीना, अनिल अंबानी की जेब में डाला। अनिल अंबानी ने हवाई जहाज नहीं बनाया जिंदगी में। ये जो बना हुआ है ना आपका कागज का, ये भी अनिल अंबानी नहीं बना सकता है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं चाहती है कि देश की सेना के हाथ में हमारी वायुसेना मजबूत हो। मैं गंभीर आरोप लगा रहा हूं, आप किस कंपनी की भलाई के लिए खेल खेल रहे हो? कौन लोग हैं जिन्होंने आपको ले जाया है? आप इस प्रकार से देश की सेना के साथ ये व्यवहार करते हो? 30 साल तक देश की सेना को आपने निहत्था बना करके रखा था। कांग्रेस के साथियों ने भी ये मिलावट कल्चर स्वीकार कर लिया है। वंशवाद के बाहर उनका एक भी साथी नहीं रह सकता है। ये महामिलावट का खेल को बड़ा आसानी से किया जा सकता है, क्योंकि सभी वंशवादी हैं, करीब करीब ठोक में सब बेल पर हैं।
आपके सामने जो लोग खड़े हैं, चाहे वो आरएसएस हो, चाहे वो बीजेपी हो, चाहे वो नरेंद्र मोदी हो, चाहे वो सावरकर हो, ये सब लोग हैं। और जिस दिन हम एक साथ खड़े हुए ये मानेंगे कि प्रधानमंत्री होते हुए चार सुप्रीम कोर्ट के साथ भारत के कहते हैं कि हमें काम नहीं करने दिया जा रहा है, और उसी लाइन में कहते हैं अमित शाह बीजेपी के प्रेसिडेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट को काम नहीं करने दे रहा है।
देश में आपातकाल थोपा कांग्रेस ने, लेकिन कहते हैं इंस्टीट्यूशन मोदी बर्बाद कर रहा है। सेना को अपमानित किया कांग्रेस ने, कहते हैं मोदी बर्बाद कर रहा है। देश के सेनाध्यक्ष को गुंडा कहा, कहते हैं कि करने वाले कांग्रेस, कहते हैं मोदी इंस्टीट्यूट बर्बाद कर रहा है।
अब देश के चौकीदार थोड़े मुझसे गुस्सा हुए हैं। वो कहते हैं आपने हमें बदनाम कर दिया, मगर मैं उनसे माफी मांगना चाहता हूं। हमने आपको बदनाम नहीं किया, आप बहुत अच्छा काम करते हो। हम सिर्फ एक चौकीदार की बात करते जो चोर है।
आपने कहा मोदी संस्थाओं को खत्म कर रहा है, बर्बाद कर रहा है। हमारे यहाँ एक कहावत है, उल्टा चोर चौकीदार को डांटे।
It was a series of attacks from both the sides. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke for almost 2 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes, and in that speech he went all hog, full front, attack on the Congress party. The Mahagathbandhan didn't leave anything for the election season, at least at the beginning of it. Now, after this big political fight, there is for both the Congress and the BJP huge number of the leaders from both the political parties jumped in, not only to attack but also to defend their leaders.
देश को विगत 55 महीनों में क्या दिशा दी है इस सरकार ने, हम देश को कहां तक ले जाना चाहते हैं, इसके बारे में उनका दृष्टिकोण पूरी तरह से स्पष्ट है.
Prime Minister has given a clear-cut direction for all of us that how a government should serve the people. And he also exposed the Congress party, how they made fun of the poor people, how they used to make announcements but did nothing for the farmers, for the poor people, for the youth.
This was the Prime Minister's swan song, his last speech as Prime Minister in the Lok Sabha. So it was full of theatre and dramabazi and lots of theatrical flair, but very little substance. So as far as we're concerned, in some ways, many of the comments made were not worthy of the dignity of a Prime Minister.
He has accepted that Mahamilat, all these parties, they are coming in power. He has admitted that. He has admitted that. There would be a coalition government. That is evident from his speech itself. And he is afraid of that.
Well, who has admitted whom, but it is about, as Prime Minister put it, the 55 months of the Modi Sarkar versus the 55 years of the Congress party. And make no mistake, this is only going to get shriller, much more sharper, just as we hit the election season and the campaign trail, which possibly in more than one way has already started. So what are we putting out on the burning question? All right, so let's just put things in perspective, and this is what we are asking this Friday morning. Will Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he called it the Maha Milawat, but can he trump the Mahagathbandhan? This is going to be the crucial and the most important question, at least when it comes to Uttar Pradesh. Question number 2 that we are asking this morning: can Priyanka make any difference in Uttar Pradesh? Because speeches or not, now it will be about the groundwork, about who can reach the last mile. The Bhai-Behen Jodi, of course, enough to take on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He hit out at the Congress party with full might, and especially at the Gandhis. Question number 4 that we are putting out this morning: Congress to form an alliance with the Bua Bhatija. So largely, this whole Maha Milawat jibe of the Prime Minister, NDA versus Maha Milawat. How is this going to go forward? We are yet to hear from, in fact, the Samajwadi Party and the BSP, their response to what the Prime Minister said yesterday. Let me introduce our guest this morning. Joining me on this debate, China NC of the BJP, Sulaiman Mohammad Khan of the Congress Party is also with us, and Javed Ansari, senior journalist, political analyst, is also joining us this morning. Very good morning to all my guests. Thank you so much for joining us on the India Today Burning Question debate. China, I want to start with you. Prime Minister touched everything. Shashi Tharoor, I beg your pardon, came out and said it was theatrics. It was high on drama, less on substance. Prime Minister utilizing the floor of Lok Sabha as if it was an election rally.
Well, clearly it was a very impactful speech, and I think it was full substance and no drama. The policies that have percolated down to the poorest of poor have not only been highlighted, the 55 months of genuine service to this country, where the opposition had only attack after attack which were unsubstantiated. When you have the Honorable Supreme Court of this country saying there was no case of commercial favoritism to anybody vis-a-vis Rafale, there you compromise national security. You question the Prime Minister's dignity time and again, and you expect no kind of response. Yes, it is a Mahagathbandhan, because we clearly know that what is in the offing is a leaderless head which nobody knows who is going to champion or chair.
Okay.
The fact is that you've questioned the institutions, you've questioned the dignity of the armed forces, and you've questioned the dignity of the chair of the Prime Minister. So why shouldn't he come back and give his viewpoint on all these 3 issues? And that's exactly what he did.
Sulaiman Mohammad Khan,
making a difference in society, in public life and polity. It comes with a leader who shows that political will to take on all the issues that have been raised.
Shana, you've made your opening remarks. Let me get in Sulaiman Mohammad Khan on this ulta chor chaukidar ko date is what the Prime Minister has now turned it around for the Congress party. And of course, the ammunition is the latest ED questioning of Robert Vadra, of Karti Chidambaram. This is going to be the narrative that the Prime Minister and the BJP is going to use against the Congress party, the corrupt versus the anti-corruption crusader Narendra Modi.
I think this what Narendra Modi ji said, ulta chor chaukidar ko date. I think this proposition is settled now that chaukidar hi chor hai. ये बात तय हो गई है. पूरा देश जान चुका है. The whole country knows that chaukidar is chor. Why we say this and why Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said this, the reason is plain and simple, very clear. That is, that Supreme Court has decided on Rafale. That was a writ petition. Nothing has gone into the material which was placed before the court. The court has given a judgment. What the Congress party, before the Supreme Court has decided on Rafale petitions filed by some XYZ people, Congress party was demanding to form a JPC, form a joint parliamentary committee. Truth will come out. Why Narendra Modi is so scared? That is what we are questioning. If he's so honest, everything is very transparently done, why is running away from an inquiry, from an investigation or a joint parliamentary committee? That is what the CBI mess has just been created, so that Rafale scam investigation is not done. As far as these hyperboles and speeches made by the Prime Minister, I think these speeches are and the argument done by the Prime Minister is a loser's argument now. These speeches and these jibes which he throws on us have become so stale that people are not buying it. People will question the BJP and the government on 10 crore
we'll leave
jobs,
that till the last vote is counted, whether what narrative are people buying, whether they are buying Prime Minister Narendra Modi's narrative or the narrative being pushed by the Congress party. We leave it to the voters to decide. But Javed, how do you see the speech? How would you put this speech of the Prime Minister, the last one on the floor of this Lok Sabha? It was a hard-hitting political speech, and that is exactly what you expect the Prime Minister when he will be hitting the campaign trail.
Ankit, the template for the elections has been set. The Prime Minister wants to cast himself in the role of a crusader as opposed to the corrupt. He would want to convey the impression that, look, he's going after the corrupt, and that's why all these people who have charges against them are ganging up to him. Very smartly, he sidestepped the question of jobs, sidestepped the question of farmer distress, of unemployment, and tried to take the battle to the opposition, principally to the Congress. The Congress, Rahul Gandhi earlier in the day had his own. So both sides are setting the narrative, and this is just the beginning. As we go forward in the run-up to these elections, it will the barbs and attacks and counter-attacks will get sharper. My only hope and my prayer is that even when they go for each other's jugular, they will maintain the dignity and decorum that befits a great democracy like India.
Well, as Javed is saying, possibly this is something that the voters would also expect. It can't be just about personal jibes. It has to have a lot of substance. And this is where Shaina, the opposition, is attacking the Prime Minister and his speech yesterday, saying that the pressing issues of the farmer distress, of jobs, this is something that the Prime Minister did not touch even once, spoke about his strength, spoke about the Prime Minister, played on his strength of his oratory, and that is why they are calling it theatrics. Why didn't he touch on the core issues facing the country right now?
No, Ankit, that's a really wrong assessment, because if you go back and hear his speech, he spoke about employment, the fact that you have 9.5 lakh jobs which were created by new aged professionals, the fact that you have data which is recorded in the organized sector and not recorded in the unorganized sector. And the point is, he has not dismissed the fact that the farmers need further care, but this government is sure that using technology we will not only be giving a minimum support price, but we will also ensure that they are empowered so they are not relying on freebies, subsidies, SOPs. He talked about the taxation structure of GST and how previous governments had charged the the common man close to 30% vis-a-vis GST, which has made it uniform for all. So I think that every single point, even Rafael, you know, the opposition has gone on, but you've had the Supreme Court of this government, of this country, say that there is no question of commercial favoritism. So I don't understand which are the questions which have gone unanswered.
Well, Shaina, there is just small contention. There is just small contention, and let me get a Suleiman Mohammed Khan on this, because the problem is the data that the Prime Minister was quoting, the data that the Prime Minister was quoting, that data, at least according to the government itself, has not been made public, and there is contradictory data that the government itself as of now is putting out. The NSSO data that the government, or possibly is that the data that Prime Minister is quoting, the government says because the data has been leaked, no, it is not the final data, so we don't know which data on employment is the Prime Minister quoting at this point of time. But one thing is clear, Suleiman Mohammed Khan, he took on the issues that the Congress has been raising, at least as far as Rafale is concerned, once again went on, called your party a party which delayed, in fact made a very serious allegation that the Congress played with the national security for the personal interest. This is something that is going to haunt the Congress party in the run-up to the elections.
I think it is Mr. Modi who has to reply to all the questions now. He has been in power for 5 years. He promised the moon and the stars during the campaign in 2014. Now he's not able to even deliver 10% of what he has promised. Therefore, he has to make all these desperate speeches, use the parliament's floor. We can expect everything from him. He has even used his mother during demonetization.
Sir, let's not do that. Suleiman Mohammed Khan, let's not do that. So let's not bring in family. It will be unbecoming. It will be unbecoming of any political discourse. Let's not do that.
No, it's not. No.
If you will be doing this, then you would not be able to mark any difference with your opponents. Anyway, please continue.
This is a sign of desperation.
No, it's an important. No, it's an important point. Therefore, I am saying this. Anyone could have gone to the bank and changed the notes. She went. It was a whole event. The whole media was there. Therefore, I am saying it. It has become an event. It has covered 1 hour of media coverage.
But make the point that you are making, sir. Now that the argument from the BJP would be that despite demonetization, they won the elections after that. They won Uttar Pradesh after that. They will present it as the acceptability of the demonetization process. If you look electorally, now with Rafale as well, they are going to go and quote the Supreme Court every time. What is new in the Congress's attack?
No problem, even if they have won 3 states out of 5, which went for the elections after demonetization. The effect of demonetization was not very clear in March 2017 when the elections happened and the result came. It is now very clear. People are saying that it was a big blow to the economy. Okay. It's very clear. Jobs have been lost. Rather than creating jobs, Mr. Modi is instrumental in this what we call as Modi-made disaster of demonetization. As far as Rafale is concerned, please go and read the judgment. It's a 34-page judgment. I have read it 10 times at least. And after reading that, I have understood, being a lawyer as well as even a layman can understand. Right. Supreme Court has categorically and specifically written twice or thrice that under Article 32 of the Constitution, under which those petitions were filed, Supreme Court has limited jurisdiction. The material which has been placed before the court has decided on that material. But the actual secret material is in the government defense files, which we are saying bring it out. And about data, which I just one sentence. You know, this government is, I think, very unfortunate that people of the country have now stopped to believe the government on data because of the jugglery they are doing. They have stopped.
I've given you enough time. I've given you enough time to make your argument. Let me get in Javed before I slip into the break, and then we'll shift focus to other issues as well. That was raised by both Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Javed, the problem right now is for both, for Rahul Gandhi as well and for Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. When they go into this election season, there is nothing new that they are offering to the people. It is the same old jibes at each other, same old issues being utilized to attack on each other. Is this what in the election season the voters of this country deserve? Why aren't we getting a vision of from the Congress party of what they will be in fact bringing to fore if they come into power, and similarly from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP?
Well, you're spot on, Ankit. The opposition also needs to, in an ideal world, in a perfect world, what ought to have happened is that this should be a competition of ideas. This should be two competing ideas vying for the top prize in the country, rather than these personal charges and counter charges. The opposition needs to get it. It's not enough for the opposition just to criticize the government. That's one part. The second part, equally important, is that they must have present an alternative vision to this country. What are they going to do about jobs? Yes, there is unemployment. So what is the game plan? How do you roadmap forward? How do you tackle this problem? How do they intend tackling farmer distress?
Yes.
Farm loan waivers is just treating the symptom. The disease remains. So how do you treat the disease? The opposition needs. What are they going to do about women? What are they going to do about other sectors of society?
Absolutely.
These are things that the opposition needs to think about and come up with a blueprint which offers an alternative vision. At the same time, the Prime Minister cannot hark back, the BJP cannot hark back to 55 years of Congress rule. The Prime Minister has now been in power 5 years.
Right.
He promised the moon, he promised 15 lakhs, he promised to create jobs, he promised to create a lot of things. He needs to come up with cogent answers as to why he's been unable to deliver on those promises.
And this is what the voters are going to judge, both the opposition and the government. The Prime Minister's report card versus the opposition's alternate narrative is something that the people are going to be interested in when they go out and vote. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's hard-hitting speech yesterday set the agenda for the 2019 elections. That is possibly, as Javed was saying, has set the template of how crucial this election is going to be and how hard-fought it would be. Shaina NC, when the Prime Minister says that for the Congress party it is just about before Congress and after dynasty, the fact also remains every time right from 2014, since Prime Minister Narendra Modi has come into power, it just seems India suddenly has become India from 2014 before this, there was nothing in this country. As if where we are standing, the entire contribution is of the 4.5 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Everybody else was only waiting for Prime Minister Modi to take country out of the disdain that it was in.
So, Ankit, let's look at some of the statistics. Look at how many Jan Dhan Yojana bank accounts have been opened in these 4.5 years. You have the World Bank commenting that this is the largest financial inclusion plan ever since the history of India. You take Ujjwala and you find out that at 6.5 crore homes that have received these gas cylinders, this is also historic. So if there is a Mudra banking which has availed of loans and given loans to 70% who happen to be women, should these points not be highlighted? You take infrastructure. You look at the pace at which roads were being constructed, and then when Mr. Gadkari actually gave his report yesterday in Parliament, you had people of the opposition too applauding. And we appreciate the fact that we can work collectively towards a better India. But in the process, if you are going to only waste time on alleging barbs at each other, on disrespecting the office of the Prime Minister by saying things like Chaukidar Chor hai and this kind of commentary, I think that does a disservice to the Indian democracy. We as a democracy need to know that there is a lot to be done, whether it's employment or farmers, but the work that has happened for financial inclusion or Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas is is not something that needs to be disrespected or undermined.
No, not at all.
Statistics are
not
out in
at
the
all.
public
I
domain.
completely agree with you. Every government should highlight the work that they have done to, in fact, uplift the people from the condition they have been in. Every government, it's the responsibility of the government to uplift the people of the country. But China, when the Prime Minister says, look what I've done with the electricity, and since we are talking about facts, before 2014, the pace of electrification for villages was about 11,000 villages per year. Now, in the last 4 years, it has been 6,000 villages. It was already 88% villages, according to the parameters of this new government, that were electrified. 12% have been done now. So it's just not that Prime Minister Modi has taken the country from 0 to 100. This is possibly the claim that he makes.
Maybe, Ankit, you should also highlight the statistics of Jan Dhan Yojana, pension schemes, insurance schemes, what has happened with Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Mudra banking, and all the other facilities too. You choose to selectively highlight a fact that India, when it comes to rural electrification, what has happened during our tenure is to make sure that every village in the country today has electricity. I think we need to also highlight that if you talk about the Prime Minister stealing 30,000 crores, where are all these figures coming from when the honorable courts themselves have said that there is no case of any commercial
Shana, I completely agree with you, but my limited point is it can't be projected as if India before Modi and after Modi, or before Prime Minister Narendra Modi took over office. That also somewhere is the problem. You can't only keep going back for all the problems from Nehru to Indira Gandhi to Rajiv Gandhi and all the achievements to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That's my limited point that I was trying to highlight. It's not about disrespecting the facts and the work that this government has done. Suleiman Mohammad Khan, but this again, dynasty becomes a problem for the Congress party because this is going to be something that the Prime Minister is now going to use more vocally, with Priyanka Gandhi also going to, coming in, being given the office where Rahul Gandhi used to sit as the Vice President of the Congress party. This strengthens the Prime Minister's claim that this is a family-run enterprise with more interest in how the family should be benefited than the country.
there is a old saying in Urdu और हिंदी कि दूसरे के ऊपर उंगली उठाने से पहले अपने गिरेबान में तो झांक लें. मैं ये क्यों कह रहा हूँ? Why I am saying this? That you are saying you are accusing Congress of dynasty. BJP has, I think, a bigger dynasty in their party. Who is former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Raman Singh's son, not an MP. Former Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Vasundhara Raje's son, not an MP. Rajnath Singh's son is an MLA. Just pick, and everyone has some or the other father or son being a minister or a former minister. So BJP has a dynasty. Every party has a dynasty. So this argument which Narendra Modi keep on doing, that after dynasty or whatever he tried to take jibe on this, I think this has also become stale. Smriti Irani has been saying this for 15 years and she has not been able to win one Lok Sabha election till date. So I think it is high time that they understand that this is a completely failed argument, and Congress party, they keep on saying dynasty. I think Rahul Gandhi ji or Gandhi family is a bond which keeps the Congress party all together. This is what we love.
Okay.
And if they talk about dynasty, I think dynasty is a reality.
Let me just flip the argument that I was asking China. Let me just flip it. Let me just flip the argument, Suleiman Mohammad Khan. Like the Prime Minister and the BJP keep saying...
Let me complete. I want to say one more thing. Every political party has dynasty. BJP has a bigger dynasty. As far as Rafael, I'll again say, if you are so honest, former JPC, former inquiry, former investigation team, as far as the work done by Mr. Modi is concerned, I think data manipulation, this government is going to be
but Suleiman Mohammad Khan, let me flip the argument, because the fact also remains, while the BJP and the Prime Minister wants to project that everything in this country has happened after 2014, which has given this country the kind of impetus that it has right now. For the Congress as well, every problem has started post 2014. It's just that the institutions, including the Prime Minister's office, are so politicized right now that the country was only progressing before 2014. Modi took over, everything has fallen flat. No, that's the narrative the Congress puts out.
No, we are just raising. Ankit, just try to say the recall the statements and the stand taken by Congress Party for 4.5 years.
Okay.
It started in December 2014 when Prime Minister Modi brought a land ordinance for snatching land from poor farmers and poor people to give to his corporate friends, Adanis and Ambanis. It is Rahul Gandhi who stand, Congress Party who stand in the way, and the Prime Minister has to back out. Therefore, Mr. Rahul Gandhi said that wo darpok hai, he is a coward. When he do things which are bad and we stand in the way, which
we'll
are
leave the rhetoric out. We'll leave the rhetoric out. We'll leave it for the election speeches of Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Modi outside the studios. Javed, this whole narrative of giving credit only to your own party or to your own government and to yourself, as if there has to be the country, there is a progress that the country has made from 1947 to here. When the Prime Minister says it is only before Congress and after dynasty, are the people in 2019 going to buy this argument that suddenly the country has changed post 2014? Before this, it was in this day.
Look, the people are extremely clever. They're very smart. They know and they realize where the truth lies. Political parties, and this cuts across political parties, they'd like the world to believe that everything good that has happened in the country is because of them, and everything bad that has happened in the country is because of the opposition. This applies to the Congress, applies to the BJP, applies to all political parties, but ultimately it's the people of India who decide. And even when all has been lost, when all seems lost, they've always risen to the occasion. So the people will exercise their wisdom, and in their wisdom they will choose a government, and we'll get a government that the people deserve.
And remember, it's
political
just not
parties. I don't expect any better after 36 years in this profession. I don't expect anything better from politicians.
Absolutely. And Javed, ultimately, no matter which government is there, the country is being built on the blood and sweat of the people of this country, no matter what leadership is, in fact, at any given point of time. Shaina, very quickly, now in the last round. Okay, Sulaiman Mohammad Khan, I want to come to you first because a very important point was made by the Prime Minister yesterday. Milawat Bandhan, which he calls the Mahagathbandhan, he is calling it the band of corrupt who are coming together because they are scared. They are scared that the Prime Minister is going to put them behind bars. The anti-crusader corruption Modi, the anti-corruption crusader Modi is back. 2014, that worked. In 2019, the Prime Minister is going to use the same trick against the Mahagathbandhan.
I think Ankit, and it's settled now. Prime Minister Modi has lost this argument of a crusader against corruption or an anti-corruption man. He is himself involved in corruption, and if he's not, have an investigation on Rafale. We are again and again saying why he's running away. He cannot argue that he is against corruption. He is a crusader against corruption because we are saying you are corrupt and form an investigation, form a JPC, and he's running away.
But Sulaiman Mohammad Khan,
giving speeches in the parliament.
Khan, how will you answer
we are saying you
when
have
the
done
Prime Minister would say there is no case against me, but there is a case against Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Robert Vadra is being investigated. There are cases against Mayawati. There are cases against Akhilesh Yadav. How will you counter that?
I cannot. I cannot comment for other parties, but for my party, my leader Sonia ji and Rahul ji's case, we know Subramanian Swami ji has filed a criminal complaint. A summoning order has been passed. And when you summon, you have to go and get a bail. Secondly, this Robert Vadra ji's and Chidambaram ji's case, I think it's very clear it's a political vendetta. आप ही investigation कराएंगे, सारे institutions को आपने कठपुतली बना लिया, demean कर दिया, denigrate कर दिया, अपने खिलाफ तफ्तीश करा नहीं रहे, कराइए ना हेमंता शर्मा के खिलाफ कराइए, हेमंता के खिलाफ, शारदा चिटफंड में कराइए, मुकुल रॉय के खिलाफ कराइए,
who has acted decisively against corruption, for the Prime Minister to claim that the question would be, Sulaiman Mohammad Khan, you made your point, let me get in a question from Shaina. The point would now for the people would be, what was the government doing for the long 4.5 years before they decided to move on Karti Chidambaram, Robert Vadra, or anybody else? If the government was so convinced, because you used these names in 2014, we are hearing them again 3 weeks before the elections are to be announced.
Look, Ankit, there is a process of law and this is not a witch hunt. You have independent agencies, whether it's the Central Bureau of Investigation or the ED doing their job. Now, for the insecurity of this so-called Mahathagbandan, I only want to say, you have an insecurity because this is no ideological chemistry at all.
Please stop doing this argument that CBI is independent.
Let her respond. Let her respond.
What is happening in CBI in past 1.5 years? Please don't stop making this argument.
Let her give her the courtesy. Extend her the courtesy to make a point.
No, I'm just saying you have made a mess of it.
Extend her the courtesy to make a point. Go ahead, Shaina.
You have strange bedfellows who are absolute no ideological similarity and they have come together only for the lust of power. So I completely agree with what Javed ji says, that the voter of this country is extremely intelligent and they realize who they need to vote for a stable good governance, and what are the repercussions of not doing so as well.
Right.
I'm sure that the Indian voter is going to think before voting, because they realize that when you make empty promises, false promises that are delivered or are not delivered, is for them to realize in their individual lives.
I'm completely out of time. I just want to give last 10 seconds to Javed. I just want to give last 10 seconds to Javed, Shaina, because the people, the voters are very intelligent. Let's not insult their intelligence, because they also know the timing, and politically motivated or not, the voters understand these things, they see through it. Javed, very quickly, is when Prime Minister attacks the Mahagathbandhan as Mahamilawat Bandhan, is the BJP nervous about the Mahagathbandhan coming together, at least in Uttar Pradesh, or is this the confidence of the Prime Minister that he can sail through?
Well, obviously he sees that as a threat. Especially in Uttar Pradesh, he believes that, publicly, no matter what they may say, but privately they realize that if in about 60 or 70% of the seats, if there is a one-to-one fight, then the BJP stars will become all the more greater, all the more tougher, and hence the need to try and undermine and to try and make people aware. People fear the fact that if there is a Gathbandhan, if there is a coalition, it will be an inherently unstable one, whereas the BJP will provide a stable one.
Javed, thank you so much for joining us on this debate. Also, thanks to Shaina NC and Sulaiman Mohammad Khan for taking all the questions, presenting your view. In the end, the voters have to decide. It is you, the viewer, who is going to go out and vote. Listen to their arguments, make up your own mind.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.